Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about how we will not fall for the witchcraft and the magic that the media pulls over our eyes. And they will continue to try to pull that wool over your eyes if you are not mindful and aware of what is actually happening. And what brought me to the subject today was you could not open up any of your medias today without seeing Takeoff from the Migos, is exited his chapter, you know what I'm saying? But before I really even speak on that part, I just want us to be aware, like, the medias that's in charge, any of these NBCs, ABCs, CBCs, CDCs, any of the alphabet letters that they put together and then threw some numbers after them, you have to understand that these are set up to control the narrative. They are set up to control the narrative. So everything that come across these medias are not always factual. They are not always factual. They do a lot of manipulating with video footage. They do crisis actors. It is a whole lot of shit that happens behind the scenes. And I know for some of us, we tend to want to just roll with what we're seeing on whatever media we're seeing it on, or whatever YouTube channel that we're seeing it on, which it's okay if you do to a certain degree, but I feel like you should also be aware of the opposition and their tactics. We all know that once you become a celebrity, you basically signing up to be part of the occult. So even if you're not a higher up, you're still part of it. Meaning, if you sign up for a gang, there's rules that you have to follow and abide by. That means most of their things and their actions that they're doing is usually all controlled anyways. So it's a lot of us out here that has been mixed up in some stuff, whether you had to go to court because you put yourself in a situation, or whether somebody else put you in a situation where you had to go to court, or whether it was a speeding ticket. It could have been anything, slight to major, you know what I'm saying? But anytime that any of us had to go through a court process, they used our government names, meaning the names we were given by our parents and signed over, with the United States corporation. They always use our names. It doesn't matter how many aliases you have or went by. So when you are seeing things out here in these media outlets, just be mindful of how the occult works and the tactics they use. If somebody really moved on to their next journey, they would use their government names when speaking of this being. And then they would AKA, or they would alias it out with the other name afterwards. But when I process what they do out here in the medias, and when they're, swiping left on some of these celebrities, whether it was their time or whether it was just their chapter for that character to exit. But these characters exit real life how they do in movies. So when you watch a good series that you really like and they kill a character off that you really like, that's the exact same thing they do out here. So now, Takeoff, that character is removed, but they're not addressing his real name, so you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. You can look up his real name, but most of the media outlets that you run into are going to use the alias. And that's what a lot of these celebrities, even when you see a bunch of celebrities, they say going in and out of jail, we're doing this in and out of thing. You have to understand, like, these tactics that they're using is all part of witchcraft, magic, manipulation. You know what I'm saying? So these are, when I process these things happen, I look at it as, all right, this is just a character, like a Sims character that got removed, but the being himself is still out here in the universe somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Meaning his actual physical body as well too. Not saying like it's pretty deep as far as how they go into manipulating the masses. Now, for me, it makes sense because everything happened in threes. And the first big one recently was Ye for the brown community. They have their sections and segments for each community because they know, okay, this community likes Jersey Shore. Okay, this one likes, what's the Housewives of Atlanta or some shit like that, or hip-hop, Love and Hip Hop or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They figure out how to set this shit up. But you had Ye, which was a big one for the community that attracted attention everywhere. And then, wow, you got Takeoff, which is another big one because he was a part of the Migos group. So they have their own little thing going on over there. It doesn't matter whatever shit they got going on. We don't have to know details or verbatim. But when we all know, if you take your ass over there to Cali and any of some of these hoods over here, but I use Cali because that's where it was stamped at. Everyone knows you have to be mindful of your colors over there. I don't give a damn if you do it or if you don't. They know that certain people sign up. When they sign up under them colors, there's certain things that go along with it. It's no different than the occult. It's no different. So this being has been a part of this thing for a long time. We speak of beings that's a part of the excuse me. We speak of beings that's part of the opposition on our levels. But this is a level that's not saying like they're better than us, but financially this is a different level, so it's a bigger ballpark because these people have more influence. So technically it still is a bigger level. You know, the more influence you have, the bigger the level is for you. You know what I'm saying? So just being mindful not to dive in too deep and to give too much energy to certain things that happen across these medias, especially when it's things like this happening. It's no different than Ye. He's been a part of this shit for a long time too. So whether he's saying nice and relevant shit already, this shit had been part of the process. There shouldn't have been so much confusion in between there. We already understand how these things already work. If he was really doing all these things for the people and it was this huge, there wouldn't have been a Yeezy shoe that was over $1,000. It's just a lot of common sense things that we have to keep in place. How they use their witchcraft and manipulation. You know what I'm saying? You get somebody that has a little bit of knowledge that can make sense, but then his actions is showing you elsewhere where he is standing and where he is vibrating at. He can jump out the window and say something for an hour or two and then go back over here and spend the rest of his hours and his time devoted to making sure he's appeasing or pleasing whatever team he's on. Which we all know where the celebrities ride. Celebrities ride in the same place as all the government officials and the rest of the motherfuckers who sign up for that shit. It's a very small percentage, very small, that probably tried to get in and be organic and realize this is not where you were supposed to be organic at. You know what I'm saying? And usually most of them have already jumped their ass out the way because you are going to recognize the signs and symptoms right away that you're not going to have much longevity in this space right here the way this shit operates. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you should know how to move in a room full of vultures, but you shouldn't always be in a room full of vultures. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just being mindful of the witchy tactics that this generation of media likes to use. You know what I'm saying? They tend to use these celebrities, which we keep our eyes on, and they'll have them do weird witchy shit in front of us and have us diving in and wasting all this energy to see if it's really real, if it happened, what's going on, what's what, when we have our own real life shit going on. So diving into that shit is gonna pull even more lower vibration energy from you, because now if you really care about some of these celebrities, now you're gonna be put in a sad state. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be thinking of different things that's not of a uplifting thing, unless you just already been an uplifting being, and then you hear it and you're like, oh shit, well this person always been this way, so then I'm just gonna keep my vibration up here for them, or lift it even higher because I know that's what they wanted. Some do that, us, but the rest, that's not how they're vibrating. So that's why I said it the other way the first time. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful with the media. You know what I'm saying? Check the outlets, check all your sources. Check if you thinking about it's a celebrity that you really cared about You want to believe it or not, check the sources before you start diving and giving it a whole lot of energy and putting your opinions and perspectives on it, and genuinely believing your opinions and perspectives, and it's not even what you processed it as. You know what I'm saying? The whole time you thinking, oh, I'm giving this energy, I'm sad because this person is dead or moved on to their next journey, and the whole time they only killed off a character. Takeoff, whatever his weird name is, it's still out here. If you have any media outlets where they're actually posting his government name, post it, show it, share it. But any of those images and videos, they got plenty of clones out here. They got pretty good impersonators, people who are really close. It's a lot of things that they do, you know what I'm saying? Tap into the crisis actors, you know, it is a real thing. Like, this shit is happening out here. So don't let them pull you in with this confusion and this chaos, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's with Ye, whether it's with Takeoff, or whether it's with that shit that happened over there in China. I want to say China. They had a huge stampede out there. Like, why are we gathering like this to do not a thing? This isn't a collective energy that's raising the vibration. This is just a collective energy that's just all slapped together. And it's like, oh, I just wait to see what the fuck happens. No, the system is showing, the opposition is showing, you better stop entertaining this matrix. You better stop entertaining this matrix. The more you go out and engage and indulge in that shit, the more you are putting yourself at risk. You know what I'm saying? And for the ones, if, you know, people did actually get trampled over there, because it was a lot of people over there, you know what I'm saying? Peace and love, and we sending high vibrations to the families and over there, you know what I'm saying? But the occult will structure shit and will set some shit up with just actors, so that way the real thing happens, and then real people are really getting trampled. You know what I'm saying? But you can even look through some of that shit and see where the crisis situation was set up at, with everybody sitting around pumping chests, but there's the people who's pumping the chests are looking around like, why are we pumping chests like this and looking around? My concern isn't on the being that I'm even pumping this chest, because I'm just worried about giving the arm motion for the video footage. You know what I'm saying? Anything the matrix, the system put out, you have to question it all the way down to the T. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? Just be mindful of the witchcraft and the magic that's happening through the media, you know what I'm saying? It's digitally, you know what I'm saying? You're not there. So if it feels offsetting, you better trust your motherfucking intuition. You know what I'm saying? You better trust the vibes, because we have to. Our situations haven't changed, and the system is in charge. Doesn't get any more simpler than that. You know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.